Yesterday, leftists staged what they call a protest, a day without immigrants. They asked businesses to shut down and to show everybody what it would be like if there were no immigrants in this country, which, to be completely honest, kind of just proves the point for Trump supporters who are concerned about mass migration. But I guess the left doesn't quite understand the complaints of many right-leaning populists and those who voted for Donald Trump. That is, if you're making the argument that if immigrants don't show up for work, business shuts down, you're proving to everybody concerned about immigration that Americans are losing jobs and industry. And you see, that's a problem for the future of this country. So thanks for proving the point, I guess. But of course, my friends, our good friends over at Fox 11 Los Angeles say protests continued into the night in downtown LA during a day without immigrants. Okay. I have a question for you. What word would you use to describe a group of, say, 3 or more individuals that engage in intentional violence in public? Perhaps you would call that a riot. I do think it's funny that the actual definition, because we'll pull it up for you, of a riot is a violent public disorder. It's like, so like one person could riot, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't call it that. But Merriam-Webster goes on to say, specifically, a tumultuous disturbance of the public peace by 3 or more persons assembled together and acting with a common intent. Very interesting. Public violence, tumult, or disorder. So the media, they play this game, the media, the corporate press, even local affiliates, where when you have videos of far left extremists battering people, smacking cars, trying to start fights, we call that rioting. But remember when they burned down a police station in Minneapolis and said mostly peaceful protests? Guys, I don't play those games. This is a riot. Just because it's not throwing Molotov cocktails and burning down buildings does not mean it is not a riot. And it's apparently day 2. Donald Trump has started this mass deportation effort, and it's got a bunch of countries in panic. And once again, I'm just sitting here being like, what the is going on? Why do we have 350,000 Venezuelans here in this country on temporary protected status? Now they're revoking it. And there's a lot of people saying like, oh, that's not fair. I think it actually might be 600,000. I don't know. They're saying it's not fair. I mean, they were told that they could come here legally, and no. Anybody who paid attention the whole time knew that half the country, more than half the country, was freaking out about immigration. So let me put it this way. I love to use the roommate analogy. Let's just say that, I got an apartment and I got a roommate, and the roommate is banging on the wall screaming, I do not want people to be in this house. And then I go to my buddy outside, nah, you're cool. Just come in and stay anyway. I'll let you stay. And my roommate's freaking out, screaming, get the out of my house. That dude chose to come in knowing. And then one day I say, yeah, you're cool to stay here, but I'm gonna go get some food. So, you hang out with him. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to kick you out. The idea that these individuals came here illegally because there was going to be some temporary status, despite knowing that Americans are freaking out about this. They were betting against us, spitting in our faces, and I don't accept it, and I don't respect it. So if you came here knowing we were upset and prepared to vote on one of the biggest issues, which was immigration, and you were hoping to squeak by and spit in our faces as you did, I got news for you. You're getting deported. Now, these far leftists have started to riot over it. There's an escalation in violence. There is this, they're calling it the murder gang of computer whiz kids who killed a CBP agent. Holy crap, man. So let me just say, the far left is, the violence is escalating. And I hope it doesn't escalate further. I hope it doesn't get really bad, but these people are lunatics. Now let's take a look at what's going on with these protests. Before we do, my friends, let's have you pop over to Timcast.com, become a member to support our work. And guess what? Check this out. Terry Schilling talking with Mary Morgan in the green room about the mark of the beast, trans surgeries, surrogacy, OnlyFans, morality, being a good Catholic, having a lot of babies. It was actually a really interesting conversation. We were chilling. The Green Room show, you don't want to miss it. It's great behind the scenes content. And of course, we had the members only uncensored call-in show. We got tons of new content coming up for you guys. So please support our work by becoming a member at timcast.com. If you like the work that we do, if you like these videos, it's only possible because you guys are members, and we need your support. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. So here's the first story. Protests in LA. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you videos. I'm going to show you videos instead. How about this? Mr. X posting, anti-Trump immigrants who don't want to be deported attack American civilians. Here's a video of the riot. And this is, I want to clarify, presumably of the same protest. I don't know for sure. So we'll just take it with a grain of salt. But this is something that emerged this morning. These videos have been flying coming out for a while. Let me turn that down. And there you can see these people are blocking highways. And what is it? The whole system is rotten and illegitimate. And there's them throwing a rock at the car window because they're trying to block highways, stop you from being able to live your life because you must adhere to their whims. We call this colloquially fascistic. When large groups use violence to force their political will. And that's not the literal definition of fascism. It's the colloquial one. It uses reference to authoritarianism. But I got news for you. Donald Trump won the election with a popular vote, and we call that democracy. It's not literal democracy, but it's a democratic election, and Trump won. And Trump won because he said he was going to start deporting people. So we didn't go out and riot. We didn't smash windows. We went and we cast our vote. And Donald Trump wins. The far left, however, goes around smashing windows, beating people and fighting cops to try and get what they want. And you know what? It worked for a little while until we struck back politically and said, I am not going to fight you in the streets. We went out and we cast our ballots, and that's democracy. These people are fascists. They are fascist authoritarians. And look what they're doing. People are honking their horns. Look at this, a cyber truck. Notice all of the people waving foreign flags. So when Trump says there's an invasion and then thousands of people show up waving flags of a different country and attack American citizens and civilians, okay. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I agree with that. So there you go. And everyone's just, I got to be honest, I'm not going to stop in traffic like this. I'm going to just idle, just, like 1 mile an hour forward, and I ain't stopping. There you go. Flying flags of foreign countries. But there's more. Because in LA, we got this. This is from Anthony Cabasa. Chaos unfolding as multiple fights with police are happening. Crowds still in the thousands. More police responding. So let me just pause right there. And we got more videos. We call this a riot. Another tweet from Anthony Cabasa. Like I said, when you get to 3 or more people, to be honest, I'd probably say like 15 or 20. Like, I don't know. I guess 10 people running around fighting is, I don't know if I'd call that a riot. But this is what we're seeing. The far left rioting. Now, this story we talked about yesterday, I did a segment. This is from The Independent, the murder gang of computer whiz kids. This is the Ziz cult. These are trans far leftists. They were pulled over in Vermont and they opened fire on CBP. And they killed a guy. They killed an officer. This is what we are worried about. The far left has always been the biggest political threat in terms of violence. The media has just lied about it. Institutions that receive funding from, let's just say, illicit sources, they'll put out their studies and they'll say, actually, the right is worse. What they're actually saying is that anyone who's not us is the right. Because as I described it, you cannot claim that Dave Smith, libertarian, is the same as a literal neo-Nazi. But that's what these organizations do. And so when someone like Dave Smith, who's like a libertarian guy, who's like not aggression principle, no violence, when he comes out and says, the left is being violent, say the right is more violent because we're going to lump every extremist group in with anyone else and call you the right. And so that's what they do. So I can put it this way. I had the debate with Luke Beasley, and I said the left is far more violent. As a collective group, the left goes out and they protest together. Dave Smith is not marching with neo-Nazis, but communists are, the tankies they call them, are marching with socialists, are marching with liberal Democrats, etc. They all march together, and they call it respecting a diversity of tactics. So I say, yeah, that's the left. You guys march side by side, and you respect each other's tactics as you use the massive bodies, even with somewhat different ideologies, to go and destroy things. The right does not do that. I mean, they're going to come out and say January 6th. Yeah, one riot, one time from 800 people. Like, dude, spare me. The far left went to the White House May 29th, 2020, and firebombed it and tried to burn down St. John's Church. Thousands of people the president forced into a bunker. We can play this game all day. But tell me where and when the right went out flying American flags, attacking cars, and beating cops. You're going to say January 6th? Great. I've got every summer for the past 20 years of the left doing that, and you've got January 6th. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's perfect. There's no absolutes, only tendencies, and the right tends not to do these things. How about this? This murder gang of computer whiz kids, these are leftist trans activists. That's just it. And they say it's an offshoot of the rationalist movement. When these people protest, like when the anti-immigration people protest, they allow these groups into their ranks. Take a look at what happened in Portland when there was I think it was a Patriot prayer rally, and a guy showed up doing the Nazi salute, and they kicked him out. And then what did the media do? They didn't show you he was kicked out. They just showed you him walking up to the group and said, look, there he is with them. Yeah, but they threw him out because they're different ideologies and they don't respect it. Well, here we are, my friends. I got questions. Protesters march, businesses close in Philly for Day Without Immigrants rally. Indeed, indeed. And then we have those videos I showed you. There's many of them. And then it ended with the LAPD releasing protesters one by one after detaining about 150 individuals. Well, here we go, my friends. I love this. Kansas City Mexican restaurants close Monday to protest Trump immigration policies. Here's what I want to stress. The Democrats, they do this. The liberals, the left, they intentionally obfuscate illegal immigrant and immigrant. Somebody comes, fills out the paperwork, and moves here. We saw the Rio Grande Valley voting shift all towards the right. The people who lived on the border, who are many of them largely immigrants who came here legally, are voting for Trump to do something about securing the border. Ain't that something else? But these Democrats will lie all day and say, immigrants. We got no problem with immigrants. The issue is illegal ones. Come here legally. Welcome to America. Here's the AP. Trump admin ends temporary deportation protection for 350,000 Venezuelans. I say, have a nice day. Bye. No, I don't care. We had a call last night on the Timcast IRL uncensored members only call-in where someone asked, but isn't it not fair that these people were told, if you come here, we will give you status. That's legal. And now we're taking it away from them. And it's totally fair. 100% fair. If you file the normal paperwork at the border and you went through the process, and we see the videos every day, a guy walking out of the immigration building and he's like, woo, celebrating that he's either got permanent residence or he got citizenship. And everyone celebrates that. All the conservatives, when there's a video that pops up of a guy being like, today I'm officially an American, I got my citizenship, I did it legally. All the people on the right are like, yes, brother, welcome to America, because they like it. These people showed up to this country knowing they were entering illegally because the current administration said, we're going to cut you a deal. They also knew because if you won't pay attention, that's your fault. The two biggest issues in the country, always the economy, immigration. People in Chicago, the black community saying we are being replaced. The Martha's Vineyard fiasco. This has been going on for years. So these Venezuelans show up here being like, Biden's giving me status. It's like, yeah, And then when Trump takes it away because we're all pissed that you did this, you ain't crying to nobody about it, and I ain't giving you any sympathy. You knew you came over to our house when half the people who live there told you to get the out. But the current guy who was, handling the rent said, no, you're good. It's like, let me ask you, like when you're sitting there and there's one guy and he's like, you're good, you're fine, just stay. And everyone else is yelling, saying, get out, man. You don't live here. And then you are like, well, I guess I'll stay. Then that guy, like I said, that guy's like, all right, I'm getting out of here. See you later. Everyone looks at you and says, now you need to go. Now you leave. And these people think they're going to get sympathy from us. I am offended by it. I am offended by the notion that people would come to this country illegally, hoping to get a free handout from an administration that was the least popular in American history. Joe Biden left office with the lowest approval rating of any modern president. I say modern because we haven't been tracking every single president's polling the way we do today. But based on all polling, Biden was worse than Carter. Ain't that something? These people either ignored that or were trying to exploit us. And either way, I have no sympathy. The AP says President Trump's administration is ending protections that shielded roughly 350,000 Venezuelans from deportation, leaving them 2 months before they lose the right to work in the U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, her order affects 340,202 Venezuelans living in the U.S. with temporary protected status slated to expire in April. That's about half of the approximately 600,000 who have the protection. The remaining protections are set to expire by the end of September. Wow. So it's going to be 600,000 Venezuelans. Have a nice day. Venezuela's a calling. Hey, look, man, I'm no fan of Maduro and what Venezuela is, but it's not my concern. We, as a nation, have to, I'll put it this way. You got to put your own oxygen mask on before you put on the mask of the person sitting next to you. And why do we do that? Because it's obvious, right? If you're on a plane and it depressurizes and the oxygen level is low because you're elevated, you're at such a high altitude. If you don't put your oxygen mask on, you pass out. And then you can't help anybody else. So it's really simple. It's also like, you see those signs where it's like, please do not feed the animals. They will become dependent. And there's a funny meme where it's like a sign says, please do not feed the animals. They'll become dependent. And then there's a homeless guy and people are like handing him food or something. There's like a homeless food giveaway. And it's like, yep, as if we're exempt from those same pressures. Bro, you came here illegally. You can go. Check this one out. U.S. military flight deporting migrants to India. We have Indian illegal immigrants. Here's where it gets real funny. From The Conversation, as Trump deportations intensify, Pacific Island nations worry they could be overwhelmed. What? Why would they be overwhelmed by their own people? Take a look at this. They say in their first term, Trump deported far fewer people than Obama, Bush, and Clinton. However, into his second term, bang, he's cranking it up a notch. They mentioned that he's going to build a migrant. They say he's going to build one. There already is a holding facility at Guantanamo Bay that could hold up to 30,000 people. Trump has also threatened to use a little-known law from 1798 to speed up the process. Yeah, it's, what is it called? The Criminal Alien Act or something like that? I don't know. They say what it is. Actually, here we go. Alien Enemies Act. There you go. While much of the attention focused on the hundreds of thousands of migrants at risk of being deported to Latin America, many Pacific Islanders are likely to be ordered to leave. Look at this. A list of from ICE. Final orders of removal include 350 migrants from Fiji, 150 from Tonga, and 57 people from Samoa. Sorry, I don't care. I literally don't care. These island nations are like, how are we going to handle 150 people coming into Tonga? And I'm like, they're your people, dude. Like, what are they doing here? Man. They say it should be noted, though, not all people with orders to leave have been convicted of serious crimes. So what? Many have simply overstayed their visas or may have only committed a minor infraction. So what? You see the game they're playing? Most want to turn their lives around. I agree. They should turn their lives around right back to the country they came from. Why is that a problem? You want to come here, you do it legally. You want to jump the line and break our laws? Get the out. Dude, let's go back to the apartment analogy. We're having a party and there's a dude who broke a window and he's climbing in and we're all saying, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing, man? Go to the front door. It's $5 to get in. Everyone's got to pitch in here. And then some guy's like, nah, you're good. You're good. I'm in charge of the party. You can come in. And we're all booing and yelling. No, you can't do that. There are people waiting to get in. You see the game that's being played? I'm over it. Bye. I think Trump's doing a bang-up job. Analysis. Trump plans to invoke obscure 18th century wartime law in bid for mass deportations. And why not? The Alien Enemies Act is what they call it. So let's see their analysis. Look at that. Reporta Actividad de ICE. They say Trump issued a flurry of executive orders. We get it. The Alien Enemies Act could allow Trump to rapidly deport migrants deemed part of an invasion or predatory incursion. A novel use of a law previously only invoked in wartime. Republicans frequently refer to illegal immigration as an invasion and portray migrants as dangerous criminals and military-aged. Sure do. Here you go. Here's an image for you. It's a bunch of people flying Mexican flags. I think you got Colombian flags on our highways and attacking vehicles. I want to just pause real quick. Let's go back to 1798. What do you think the colonists at that time, not the Americans, of course, the Americans, what do you think they would have done if, I don't know, 1,000 people flying Mexican flags marched into Virginia? I'm pretty sure that would mean war. No question. They would open fire immediately. Okay, let me put it this way. If 1,000 people marched into any one of the American states flying Mexican flags, some guy on horseback would ride to whatever outpost they could and be like, "We're being invaded. It's an invasion." And this is quite literally what the law was made for. Now, granted, population explosion has occurred, but I don't think that excuses or changes what the purpose of the law is. If you want to make the expanded militaristic invasion act, fine, go ahead. But what we are seeing here on these highways, they attack vehicles. Look at this, with Mexican flags, is literally what they probably meant when they made the Alien Enemies Act. Now let's pull it up. Alien Enemies Act. Look at that. What is it? Let's ask our good woke leftist. Alien Enemies Act of 1798. 1798, the U.S. was on the verge of war with France. The Federalists, America's first political party, believed the Democratic Republican criticism of their policies was disloyal. They feared aliens living in the U.S. would sympathize with the French during a war. As a result, a Federalist-controlled Congress passed 4 laws. And there you go. The Alien and Sedition Acts. So they were concerned that there were people living in this country, well, let me pull it over, that would be disloyal to this country. Let me just stress something, my friends. When Reagan gave amnesty to illegal immigrants, those illegal immigrants were only on paper American citizens. Let me explain. By all means, you're an American citizen, fine, but their allegiance was still not to this country. And so when it came time to vote, to make sure that public funding wasn't going to illegal immigrants, these people who were granted the right to vote immediately voted in favor of foreign nationals. Their allegiance was to their families. Of course it would be. And their families lived in other countries or were here illegally. So they voted in the interests of people who are not citizens. And therein lies the problem. Ultimately, my friends, what our concern is this: murder gangs, far leftists, and violent riots. People are saying we're going to see a summer of love. Trump's flooded the system. Democrats don't know how to respond because Trump is doing too much too quickly. That's what you can do as an executive. All the executive orders he filed, they don't even know where to begin filing lawsuits. There's too many. And they've got a triage. And Trump will just keep firing them off, and they can't do anything to stop it. Eric Weinstein said that it's an administrative civil war. The gutting of U.S. aid is pretty funny. Democrats are apoplectic. You've never seen him so angry. U.S. aid is what Cernovich called it, the skeleton key of corruption. The deep state is losing its mind. We'll see, man. I think Trump's doing a great job so far. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Become a member over at timcast.com to support our work. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next segment.